Good evening. Thanks very much for your time. Just looking at this case, perhaps without going deeply into the merits or lack of it, what did you make of it when you first read about it?
Thank you for your excuse me. Thank you for your look. I think that from the DA's perspective, they may be scoring some moral points here. Perhaps I don't know if I'm terribly convinced by that. Their complaint is a peculiar one. I find it peculiar.
Indeed.
I think that, as I said, from a moral perspective, they may be trying to get some mileage out of linking the ANC with Bosasa. As we know, Bosasa is in the news a lot with the Zondo Commission at the moment. But really, from a legal perspective, when you look at the legal reasons for their complaint and also who they've complained to the Independent Electoral Commission, then it really becomes very strange as to what the DA is hoping to get out of this complaint, because as far as I can see, there is very little chance for success in this particular matter.
What conditions should a case like this or similar to this would it have to meet before it can, begin to make sense? Perhaps not so much from a legal point of view, but from among the electorate as well. What are the sort of issues that they perhaps ought to be raising here?
So I think that partly what the issue is here with the legality of their complaint is that getting private funding or private donations for political parties has not been illegal in South Africa. Even today, it's not illegal, but we now have a law which compels us to declare what public and private donations parties have received. And so that Bosasa gave money and support in kind to the ANC is not illegal, and it has not been illegal in the past. What the DA appears to be trying to do is to claim that this particular relationship between Bosasa and the ANC contravenes the electoral code of conduct. Now, that code of conduct describes what political parties should and should not do during the electoral period. And that's why they've complained to the IEC, claiming that in some way the ANC has contravened in past elections the electoral code of conduct.
I mean, hypothetically at least, do you think this case could easily be killed by the ANC coming out and saying, oh yeah, we did get some financial and other forms of assistance from Bosasa, and then now what?
Exactly. I think that is exactly the response that the ANC should give, because frankly it has not been illegal. And even the Section 9 that the DA has claimed within the Electoral Code of Conduct, the ANC has somehow run foul of, only talks about unduly influencing the election in some way. Now, setting up a war room and analyzing data coming out of the election, it's very difficult to draw a line between collecting data and information in a war room and planning and strategizing, as I would expect all political parties would be doing even right now, preparing for the current national and provincial elections. That's not an illegal act. And unless there is some further information that the DA has that they didn't share in their public statement that can link activities within that war room to interfering in the outcome of the election itself, then the ANC's response can simply be that, yes, we did this, and it's not illegal.
And if this case gets thrown out with ease, how damaging do you think that could be to the DA as either a petty party that perhaps wastes, the IEC and everyone else's time and resources and so on?
I think that perhaps the DA is trying to get some mileage out of the link between Bosasa, which increasingly appears to be a very corrupt relationship between Bosasa and the state, and linking it to the ANC directly. Perhaps that's their goal. I'm not a DA strategist, so I don't know. But I think that there is another issue here, and it's a serious one, which is that when parties go to the Electoral Commission and complain and force the Electoral Commission to make these kind of pronouncements, as they have done in this case, they are requiring the Electoral Commission to play the role of referee. And in that case, they're putting the Electoral Commission into a difficult position. On the one hand, we know that there are allegations out in the public domain about a corrupt relationship between Bosasa and the ANC, even up to the president of the country. On the other hand, people may be confused if the IEC says that there is nothing wrong with Bosasa funding the ANC's war room, and that may upset them, and it may harm the IEC's credibility. So I think that these kind of challenges need to be carefully thought out, and all political parties need to tread carefully when they lay these kind of complaints, that they are confident that there is a real case to answer here.
And of course, I mean, if you take a case like this to the IEC and it rules against you, the tendency of some bad losers turning around and saying, we knew, because we've always said that the IEC is biased or stuffed by cronies of this or the other party and so on.
That's right, and I think that gets to the heart of the matter, Vuyo, because really the IEC has got so many responsibilities as they prepare for the elections right now. It's really important that they are able to focus on the task at hand, which is delivering technically credible elections for the national and provincial elections in May. Not that the code of conduct doesn't exist where complaints can be laid. That's an important process. Just looking at the merits of this case, in light of the existing law, it was just a strange one to me.
That's where we're going to leave it for now. Thanks very much for coming through and sharing your insights with us. Grant Masterson, Senior Program Manager of Governance and Political Parties at the Electoral Institute for Sustainable Democracy.